All right. Give me a second. I'm figuring this change in the app out. Figuring it out. All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now, All right. So right now I'm going to be doing a live ClairTarot reading for Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. I had asked the collective energy of Taurus what this reading is going to be about. And what I was told was don't fall for it. I don't know what y'all are about to fall for, but don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't fall for it. The feeling is that old cycles are about to repeat. We definitely don't want that, okay? So Taurus, one of the things that I know from many Taurus, not all, but many, is that you guys have a habit of loving people and supporting people in such a way that enables their destructive behaviors, okay? I got to point that out because I think that has to do with the message, the overall message that your collective energy was telling me of don't do it. Don't allow yourself to get sucked back into a cycle. Ooh, I was told to get this card out. Don't allow yourself to get sucked back into a cycle that you know is definitely not gonna, it's definitely not gonna serve you. Okay? It's not gonna serve you. So let me just get you guys some cards. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. Ooh. Some of you might have a cross watcher that's a little bit cray-cray. Just a little bit. Just a little bit unstable. Not to say that all the cross watchers are unstable, but there are those in the Taurus family that have cross watchers that are, okay? So let's just, I sense like narcissism. I don't know if a cross watcher is watching right now and getting pissed off that I'm saying this. Well, if you're getting pissed off, it might apply to you. Me sharing hits that I'm getting, generalized hits that are not directed at anyone, shouldn't piss you off if it doesn't apply to you. All right, let's see. Ooh-wee, Taurus. You about to fight. Sometimes it got to happen that way. Sometimes it's just got to happen that way. So let's see. Uh-oh. All right. Give me a second. This is the intrigue, the level of intrigue in this reading. Oh, wait, Taurus. Here we go. The level of intrigue and the plot thickens. Here's the deck. We're almost there. This is the last deck I'm going to be pulling from to give you clarity. Now, this is a general reading. This is for the general collective energy of Taurus. This is not directed at any specific individual. If it resonates, if it resonates, then it resonates. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Don't try and force it into something that don't try and force it into something that it isn't, okay? So here goes. Card number 25, release a dark wound, let love live. You have to let go of this, okay? Oh, shish. Oh my God. For some of you, Taurus, this is a water sign that you're dealing with, or they have considerable amount of water energy in their chart. You got to let that fishy go, okay? The love is toxic. It is toxic. This is not for all Taurus, but if you're finding yourself nodding, it's probably for you. This message is probably for you. So you got to let that fishy go, all right? And here's another thing, card number 24. So first we have card 25, now we have card 24. It's like you're taking steps backwards. You're allowing this fishy to lull you, to convince you that you should continue to enable their toxic behaviors. Now, it's up to you if you want to do that, but just know it affects you, no one else. You can't blame anyone else. This is something you're choosing. So this could be a relationship, a romantic relationship. This can be a friendship. It can be family. It can be a roommate. It really can be anyone in your life. If it's resonating, it's resonating, okay? But if it's not, please don't try and make it fit, people. Please don't like look for someone to pin this onto. But yeah, wow. Wow. This is intense. Card number 31, Mary, miracles. So you might be finding a mother type figure or energy, trying to point out like, hey, you know, this is not healthy. What you're participating in is not healthy. The way you're being treated is not healthy. And it might rub you the wrong way just because Taurus has a sense of loyalty where it's like, I don't care what you're doing. If I'm down for you, I'm down for you. And nobody is going to say or do anything to convince me otherwise. Yeah, no, it's going to be a miracle for someone to be able to convince you of something you don't want to believe already. All right. Something you're refusing to acknowledge. Definitely make sure that you pause for a moment before you fully commit to that sense of loyalty. Pause for a moment and make sure that this loyalty is not being taken advantage of. Okay. So 6 of Swords in reverse. Stalemate, unwanted proposal, confession, declaration. So, wow. There's a potentiality that whoever this is about might make some sort of statement, or their actions might make it obvious that this is not something that should be continuing. Don't allow ego or pride, fear of hurting someone's feelings, to keep you from really seeing the truth of the matter, okay? You have full vision, Taurus. You're able to see things beyond just the circumstance at hand. This is why you're very good at whatever you put your mind to. Only problem is when you choose to believe that you don't want to believe it, that kind of blinds you. Not kind of, it does blind you. It makes you very blind to what's actually going on. Don't fall for it. You're going to be made to feel badly. You're going to make, whoever this is will probably use tactics that will paint you as being greedy or selfish or, you know, whatever else. It's not. You're not being greedy or selfish. You're seeing what's going on. You're refusing to believe it. They're leaving you no choice but to acknowledge what's actually going on. And now that you're choosing to take action, they're going to try and manipulate you. And again, this is not going to apply to all Taurus, but for the ones that this does apply to, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Okay. Card number 12, every journey starts with a single step. You have to take a step closer to yourself. The feeling that I'm getting, and you're not going to like hearing this. The feeling that I'm getting is you have been allowing yourself to be swayed for a very long time, not just by this particular individual, but this is just a cycle that you've been repeating in life, okay? It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're less than anyone else. It just means now is the time. If this resonates, now is the time for you to begin looking at these cycles that you've been participating in. Nothing is being forced on you. You are a willing participant in whatever it is you're experiencing. So now you have to hold yourself accountable for choosing to continue to be a willing participant and choose differently. If it's something that's upsetting you, something that's making your life miserable, then you have to begin choosing different. Choose something that's in alignment with what you want and need out of life, not what you feel obligated to do. So we have card number 10, assurance. Everything is going to be fine. Right now, you're experiencing new growth. You are feeling very raw, very vulnerable, delicate, even. And for Taurus, um, some would think that this is not that this is a new feeling, that you're so used to being like bullish that this is like, oh my gosh. What I've come to understand about Taurus, you consistently feel this way. You're just very good at hiding it. You have one hell of a poker face. And it's time for you to drop the games, okay? Stop with the poker face and really face life head on. What is bothering you? What is it? Who is it? How will you address this? And I'm not talking about just cutting people off and running away or any of that. How are you going to address this so the cycle doesn't repeat again? There are certain conversations you need to have within yourself to begin really identifying the root causation of these cycles, because it doesn't matter who it is. This cycle is going to repeat with different players unless you get to the root causation of why you're in this cycle to begin with. So it's a lot of internal work that needs to go on. You have to dive deep into yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to drop the fear of how people are going to see you. That's one of the most crippling things that Taurus struggles with. How will people see this? How will they receive this circumstance? Once they find out, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? Who gives a shit? The people who have nothing nice to say, the people who have no patience or compassion for you as you find your way through your journey, are the very same people who have already been, maybe very silently only to themselves, been talking shit about you. And now they have an excuse. Well, you know what? They weren't going to say anything nice anyways. I've found the people who are willing to believe negativity about you without even asking you first, like, hey, someone said blah, blah, blah to me. What's going on? I mean, is this true? Those are the people who wanted to believe some shit about you anyways. Okay. I know this from my life experience. You could be so good to an individual, which Taurus tends to be. You can be so good to an individual, and the moment they have an excuse to turn on you, they will, because you know what? They were never on your side. They just had a lot to gain from their association with you, but they were never on your side. They were never a part of your team. They never had your back, so it's no loss to you. That's dead weight that you've just released. So speaking of dead weight, card number 44, stranded. And there you are. Stranded, not knowing which way to turn, not knowing what to decide, because you're completely out of your element in this. You're very used to having things situated in such a way where you have options. There's contingency plans. Your ass is covered, and right now your ass is bare naked. You don't know what to do about it. And that's okay. That's okay. That's the most beautiful thing about truly being alive, not having all the answers, allowing creation to bring to your doorstep the very circumstance that will help you to just realize there's no need to stay within the box and have three buttons that you're going to choose from, option 1, 2, or 3. Mm-mm, mm-mm. When you find yourself stranded, that's usually when you find yourself. That's usually when you realize, as painful as it can be, that's when you realize, who's really in this with me? Who is my ride or die? Who's going to help me push this car that's run out of gas? And who was just riding in the car because they didn't want to pay for their own gas? because of the benefits, because you're cool, because you got a nice car, because, all of these becauses. When you find yourself stranded, that's when you really know who is actually there for you, who is a part of your team, who has your back. That when push comes to shove, that's how you know. Taurus, I'm being told to reiterate, now is the time to release your allegiance to ego. When I say allegiance to ego, I'm not saying that you think you're above everyone and better and you have issues with inflated self-importance. I'm talking about ego as in stop being so afraid that people will see you made a mistake, that people will see you misjudged a circumstance or individual. Let them think and say whatever they want. They were going to do that anyway. Okay? You could be doing amazing in life. You could be very generous. And people will still say whatever they want to say. You can't control that. So instead, focus your energy on what you can control, you and your journey. Okay? So let's see. 9 of Cups. All right. 9 of Cups in reverse. Mistakes, material loss, imperfections, misplaced trust, false freedom, opposition, differences. So again, this is about you really discovering who you misplaced your trust in, who's on your side, who isn't. And it's not necessarily that there's a war going on outside of you. It's more of understanding that you have had a war going on within you for quite some time. You have been fighting yourself in the process of realigning yourself and your soul back into a reunified state. And that's what is really, really bothering you. This lack of ability to control your spiritual path and the way you're accustomed to controlling your human existence. Soul is not going to give you the driver's seat. Okay. It's allowed you to drive up until this point, but I believe the entirety of humanity at this point, it's almost like a group ascension. People who have no interest in any of this spiritual, metaphysical subject matter are now being thrust into processes that are forcing their eyes open. Okay. It's become apparent we've reached critical mass, and humanity as a whole, on a soul and energetic level, has agreed to rise right along with Gaia. And you have to rise. You have to. The more you fight the changes within you, the more difficult your journey is going to be. If you choose to continue this cycle again, repeat it again, because there's a cycle going on. It feels like with a specific individual in your life. It could be family. It could be a friend. It could be a frenemy. It could be someone at work. Whatever it is, there's a cycle that this specific individual is bringing back to your doorstep. If you choose to do it again, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun. It's going to involve a lot of pain on your part. Okay. You're going to pay a pretty hefty price. Pretty hefty price. Oh, yep. All right. This is just the cake topper. Card number 30, the perfection of your life. You like to cultivate a very nice outward appearance. Everything's put together. You are successful. You have the material things that prove your level of success. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But just know your soul is snitching you out. Inside, behind closed doors, very silently, your whole world is burning up. It's crumbling. And this is a part of ascension. Ascension is a controlled demolition of self. Your life as you know it is crumbling. And it's not because you're messing up. It's not because you're a bad person or you're failing or any of that. This has to do with the shedding of things that are no longer in alignment with your growth. Like I said, soul is no longer going to be tolerating you just barely skating by when it comes to your spiritual development. So there you go. Look at all that fire. The bridges that lead you back to toxicity are being burned as we speak. That's a lot of stuff ending. You know, it's ooh, oh man. I don't know if one of you is getting really emotional, but I'm just feeling something. Just breathe. Just breathe. Maybe your emotions are rising up, are intensifying because the things that I'm saying is making it difficult for you to continue ignoring what's going on. It's forcing you to really take a good hard look at what you're going through and you're understanding you're not being punished. And maybe the emotion and the tears are nothing more than a release of everything you've been keeping pent up inside. You're not a bad person. Taurus, you are not a bad person. The way you love is just, it's something really profound. But you have to be aware loving people and enabling toxic behaviors, toxic interactions, they're two different things. Your soul is just wanting you to balance, okay? Balance. So, card number 25, Kali, liberation. It's in this destruction that you will finally liberate yourself from the cycles that have been plaguing you. All right? In order for the new to begin, we must first have an ending of the old. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing is trying to destroy you just for the sake of destroying you. The old parts of you are what's being taken away. The parts that are outdated, the parts that won't help you to rise to greater heights of understanding, living, knowing. And the problem is it's not in the taking away, it's when you fully identify with that part of your journey, when you know nothing else but to be who that is in that moment. That becomes very difficult. That becomes very scary. But if you open yourself to the very real fact that you are more than just that cycle, you are more than just that circumstance, you are beyond being just that wound that you've carried with you for however long, you then free yourself to begin really experiencing this life and really experiencing healing, true healing at core levels. So, card number 25, protective nest. I understand you want to protect yourself. I understand you've built a beautiful nest that you don't want to see destroyed. But also understand in that rebirthing, the eggs that you put in that nest will be broken open. That's the only way to rebirth, okay? They have to be broken open. So you have to be willing to allow that breaking to happen because no one else is going to do this to you. This is your higher self doing this. You're not going to win that fight with your higher self. You might stand a chance fighting with someone else who's trying to force this on you, but fighting against your higher self, fighting against the organic process that your soul agreed to in order to grow you, that's not going to happen. You're not going to win that. Okay? You're not fighting against someone else, you're fighting against yourself. And no matter who wins, whether it's self or soul that wins, you still lose. You see how that works? They're still both components of you. So no matter which one wins, you still are guaranteed to lose. So instead, let both win. Don't make this into a competition between yourself and your soul. Reunify them. Allow them to work together harmoniously to raise you up to your rightful place. So speaking of raising you up to your rightful place, card is the Emperor. The Emperor is a very solid, stable figure. You have Emperor energy. Now, you have to keep that balance because that solid, stable figure energy, it can be something that's very domineering, very inflexible, and therefore easier to break, okay? So this is about confidence, wealth, stability, authority, indomitable spirit, war-making tendencies, worldly power. I mean, you already embody all of that. This is like the essence of Taurus energy, a Taurus mindset. But the war making capabilities, don't let that get the best of you. You have to temper that with grace and flexible strength. You have to be flexibly strong as you navigate your own life. Okay. Like I said, you're not fighting anyone else but yourself. And if you're going to fight yourself, you're guaranteed to lose. No matter which one comes out on top during that battle, whether it be self, whether it be soul, you're guaranteed to lose. Okay? Let's get you guys. What? This card? Hold on, guys. I'm going to get you one final card to hopefully cinch all of this information together and give you a very solid idea of how you are going to choose to move forward. Wrong one. It's this one. All right. Oh, I pulled this card this morning. That's nice. Card number 17. Her Grace. The goddess is awakening within your life. It may be within your own body, within a sensual deepening of relationship with your own body or with the body of another. Through expanding creativity, a sudden burst of feeling that you cannot logically explain, a desire to move, to dance, to express yourself, to sing, to write music, to draw, to play in nature, to swim and to collect shells and lie on your back in the moonlight, gazing at the stars. Let her reach you. She's calling to you from ancient times, calling you to allow her more deeply into your life. Celebrate the calling, celebrate the divine feminine. She is coming to life for you. Whether man or woman, your life is about to be touched by her magic, never to be the same again. This oracle brings you a message. There is a woman who brings divine blessing into your life, who is trying to connect with you more deeply. So let's see. This same energy came up at the very beginning of the reading. There is a maternal figure, a mother type energy figure that's helping you to understand how you need to navigate your journey right now. This blessing may be one that's obvious or one that is hidden in a challenge. The woman may be your own body if you're a female, or your own inner feminine if you're a male. It may be a spiritual or physical being, the great mother, your lover, your sister, or your dearest friend. It may be a woman as yet unknown to you, but who holds a soul contract with you, an agreement predestined to awaken you. The empowerment will come to you not by rejecting what is offered by this feminine presence, but by embracing it and finding your truth through it. This is exciting because it means you are growing. You are entering into the feminine temples of wisdom and finding a home there. I was born long before our time, and yet my time with you is something new. For you awaken in me a spirit that was longing for release, waiting for your touch. I thought I was safe to stay inside the boundaries and walls I carried with me. You touched all of me, and we walked together outside the lines. So that's beautiful. This is about you no longer confining yourself, allowing the process, your natural process of expansion of your mind, expansion of your soul, allowing yourself to feel fully and be fully present in every moment of your life. No more are you allowed to simply be in the middle of a conversation, listening just enough to formulate a response. Be fully present. Truly hear what the other person has to say without thinking of what you're going to say in response. Be fully present in your life at this point. Your growth, it's going to happen no matter what. You are going to continue to grow. Your level of understanding, overstanding, understanding, all of that, it's going to really, really ripen. And once you know more, you can do better, okay? And no one is competing with you. No one is allowed to continue to limit you. You have to choose what you want. And the only way to properly choose is by understanding what your circumstance is in the first place. Understanding what your various options are and where those options lead you. All right. Sometimes the best option is to walk away from something that you know and walk towards the unknown. And that's very scary. But there is that saying, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. That saying exists for a reason. Okay. It exists for a reason. Find out how it applies to you. So thank you so much for joining me. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel, turn on that notification bell, and join me every single time I'm live. I'm going to be going live again in a minute or two. Who's next? Aries. Next is Aries. So I'll see you guys in a few. Bye.